Hey gang, I just want to make a few short videos showing some various things that I'm putting together on the car. This video I want to get the trunk seal on the deck lid before I finish buffing the other side. So if you like videos like this, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to see more, and hit that like button. Alright, so what I'm going to try to use today is the 65 to 70 Mustang Coupe and convertible trunk weather strip. This is a Mustang's Unlimited labeled part. I'm not so sure this isn't a Dan Carpenter piece. I think it is because of the D. I'm not 100% sure, but it does say that Mustang Club of America approves of this. So it also is made in the USA. Now, what brand is it? I don't know. I don't know if there's a specific name on it. Now, to begin with, I'll say that what you need to do is make sure the area that you're going to bond to, bond the seal to, is clean and dry. And of course, this is a fresh paint job, so everything is clean on that aspect. The seal itself, the instruction will even tell you right here, you can see the shape of it. It's like a little bird mouth there. And it's telling you that the opening goes towards the center of the trunk lid. Well, okay. Let's take a look at the seal itself. It looks like you've got a flatter portion up here, like a broader edge, and this is rounded. So based on the picture, I don't know if I can go, it does show like a flatter, mount this edge in the trunk lid with weather strip glue. So the one with the little bevel on it is what I'm assuming they're talking about, but they don't really show a difference in length. Like each leg looks like it's the same. When you look at this one, you have two different lengths. Now, let me unroll this and just get it up here in place. We'll take a quick look at it. And it said this portion, this faces in, right? So with that in mind, I'm thinking that the longer leg is going to go in, because it wouldn't make any sense to put this flat portion facing up. So if we do that, put that in, that should work just fine. Now the tricky part, of course, is, coming around these corners, trying to make sure it doesn't move, that's going to be the hard part. And of course the seal has been rolled up for a while. So maybe I'll set this out in the sun and see if it softens up. It might help, it might not. I don't know. Because the ends are really rolled tight. Let me verify the length of this before I move on. So basically, we've got about probably 5 inches of overlap. That's okay. That's good. Now what I want to do is, if you look at the instructions, well, if you look at, say, an original car, you might get overburdened with the idea that the edge or the starting point needs to be at a certain location. I get that. Some seals probably would have started up here by the latch, maybe dead center on the latch, so it's hidden. You could start it anywhere, really. Unless you're building a concourse correct car, then it's not really going to matter, because the ends will actually end up butted against each other anyway, and it's up to you, where you want to put the start point or the end point. The easiest point, or the easiest thing I would think, maybe to start like right here in the middle on this, center line. Because up there, it could be a little trickier. Up at the latch, could be. I think you can even see there the seal's kind of spread apart a little bit. But I'll make a decision here in a second. I just want to make sure this thing is going to stretch out nice. And that's another thing I'll point out too. When you're doing these seals, don't stretch them. Never stretch a seal. Because what will happen is it'll eventually try to draw up and may actually come loose because it's trying to retract back into position. Now if you're curious and you want to see how this looks, again, that little radius edge that we talked about facing in, that actually follows the shape of the trunk very well. So, good indication of where we're going to go. I think I'm just going to start here behind the latch bracket, just center it up and work from this area around. And what I'm going to use today is some black super weather strip adhesive, 3M. And what the instructions tell you to do is to apply a length, let's say an area that you're going to be working, let it dry, and apply it to the other piece as well, and let it dry. I've done that before. I've also done it where I've just put it on and just stuck it to it and taped it down. But I will try to do by the instructions, let's say today. So we'll see how that goes. So I probably need an easy way to spread this. Let's see what I can come up with. I think what I'll try is just a small paint stick. We'll see how that works. Now the thing about this stuff is it is actually quite runny, and it will leave a trail like wherever you apply it. So I'm just gonna try this, put some on. I'll go just to that first gap, let's say, where it starts to open up, and it'll create strings and all kinds of stuff. So I'm gonna spread that a little bit. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right. Now, I'm going to get some on this piece. See how much of a mess I can make. What do you say? Stuff dries pretty quick. Okay. It seemed to work pretty well. And just repeat. Now, if you're lucky, you won't end up with this stuff all over you, but use caution. You might want to wear gloves. That'll help. Let that dry a minute. And if you do get some excess that you don't like, take a little lacquer thinner, clean it up. So basically I'm going to repeat that process all the way around until we get back to the starting point, and then I'll make a careful cut to butt those things together. Now, again, you don't want to stretch the gasket. You want to actually kind of cut it a little bit long, so when you put it together, they're kind of pushing against each other, and also put sealant on that connecting point. So I'll finish putting the rest of this on, then I'll show you the end. Okay, so I'm making my way across the back edge, and I'm going to make this curve. So I did the same thing, put material down, use the paint stick, spread it, but I want to show you something. I decided, to make it easier for me and maybe even for you, let me change this angle just a little. I would hold this over the area that I had just treated, and then I put a piece of tape so that I know how far I need to go when I add material to the back side of the seal. Just a quick little reference. And you could probably do that ahead of time. Like if you wanted to put down material, you could measure this out without having the material down. You could do that first. But I'm just pointing this out. That way you're not putting too much on and going, oh, I overlapped, or I didn't get enough to that point. Also, I found when I'm using this adhesive, it's a little easier if I just kind of use the tip and spread it onto the back side of the seal rather than using the paint stick, because this seal kind of drinks it in a little bit. And by the time you get up here with a paint stick, it feels like it's starting to dry already. So what I've decided to do is just kind of let it come out of the tube slow and just follow the shape of the seal. And that seems to work really well. I'm not getting it all over the place. Let that dry for a minute. And you can see I have very little, I've got a little bit on my thumb there. Otherwise, I've been staying pretty clean. So, get that dried up, and then set this in place. Then you can take some tape and just hold it down. One thing I did notice too, that tape, it'll actually pull some of the foam. So be careful when you pull the tape back off. I even had gotten to the point where I was taking a little lacquer thinner and brushing against the edge of the tape so it softened up, so it didn't hang on, and try to pull off some of the seal, because this seal is pretty soft. A little excess. And it should not hurt your paint. Should not. Okay, I'm at the end where, again, this is the extra material that I don't need. So I'm just going to use a pair of scissors. You could use a razor blade, whatever works for you. But I'm going to cut this long, just a little, maybe, just in this instance, maybe a 1/4 inch. Just to see. Okay, so I can go a little more off of that. And ideally, I want these two to just kind of butt together and create a finished seal. So this is trying to stick because I have a little extra going here, but I think that's going to work just fine. So continue the process. Put some down. Since I can't really get the paint stick in there the way I want, I'm just going to kind of spread that around. I'll put some more on the face, like I had said before, of the seal. And then I'm going to put some on the edge. Of the seal. Put some on that edge. Let that dry. And what I want to try to do is connect the two ends together first and then press this down. If I need to, I'll add a little more sealant or glue between these two. I want to let it sit for the moment and just get bonded together as much as I can. But that's really, that's going to be it. It looks like it turned out pretty nice. I like it. Hopefully it doesn't hinder the shutting of the trunk. There's always an issue where they can sit up. I have read that the seal for a fastback, if you bought 2 of those seals, basically they're not long enough to make the perimeter of the trunk. So you buy one and you start somewhere and work your way halfway around, cut it off, and then you cut off the other one and work your way the other way around and meet back together. And the fastback seal is supposed to be softer for some reason, or a little bit different shape, and it'll compress. So anyway, okay, the seal is in place. I like it. I think it's going to work out fine. Now the real test will be whenever I go to shut the deck lid or trunk lid, and whether it's going to try to resist or push up. We won't know until that point, but for now I'm happy with it. I hope you liked the video. I hope it helps you with your project. And if you would, hit the like button. Share the video, subscribe, all that cool stuff that helps with this channel. I hope to soon have a giveaway video for hitting 50,000 subscribers. So hope you're there for that. But that's going to be it for this. So until next time, take care of yourselves. See you. Okay, just to give you a follow-up, now that the seal is in place, of course, and dry, been a couple days, not that that really matters, that stuff dries really fast, but I have the deck lid mounted, and there it is. Now this gap over here, it's a little fat, but there's nothing I can do about it. If you go back and look at the videos, you know that I had cut the quarter off and I left this original strip. That's just the way it is. Over here, it's much nicer, but I can't really do any more adjusting. I don't think, I've got a good alignment here. It's not perfect, but they weren't perfect from the factory, but it's really good. So I like it, and I think it's going to be just fine. It's going to settle in and be just right. So I'm happy with that. That's it. All done. Bye.